Hey, my name is Anna, and my story starts when I was 13. I've always been competitive, so naturally, this gave me a flair for sports, and I excelled in them. I also loved maths and drama, I had lots of friends, I did art, and I got good grades. But I always felt I could do better. I wanted to eat healthier, I wanted to exercise more and become the fittest, I wanted to come first in everything. And to a certain extent, this worked. I did get better at sports, I did come first, I was eating healthier, but I was losing everything I loved. It wasn't long until I became obsessed with food and exercise and calories. My whole life was taken over, and I felt like I was trapped in some kind of bubble with which no one could get through to me. All I could think was food, calories, I need to burn it off, I need to exercise. As time went on, I grew increasingly terrified of weight gain, so much so that I took to desperate measures to prevent it. I thought maybe I'd be happy if I lost a bit more weight, or if I ate healthier. Each day I ate less and exercised more, but all I could seem to do was cry. I didn't know what was wrong with me. The weeks went on and I felt numb and disconnected from the world. I remember crying and telling my mum, I just don't feel like me anymore. I used to stand silent as all my friends were talking around me. I desperately wanted the old me back. On the 15th of February 2011, I was admitted to hospital. I remember a doctor sitting me down. He said, "You have an illness. You have anorexia nervosa." "I'm fine," I said. "I don't think I'm fat, so nah." Despite my protests, I was kept in hospital on bed rest. When you are at such a low weight, your body eats away at your muscles. The heart is a muscle, and mine was failing. Blood pressure was through the floor, and my heart rate was way too slow. I wasn't allowed to walk in case I had a heart attack, and I had to be pushed everywhere in a wheelchair. I was put on a refeeding plan, which I stuck to, and I gained the weight I needed, and I convinced them I'm fine. See? Once I was out of hospital, I was seen by CAMS Outreach twice a week to do my weight and obs. I hated it, I absolutely hated it, but as time went on, I was even more keen to get out of there, so I gained the weight, I did what they told me, and I discharged myself. I went back to school and I was so happy to be alive. I was loving life. I did lose the weight I had gained, and I was quite happy about this. However, it didn't last very long, because I thought to myself, why can't I just eat what I want, like everyone else does?
Oh, my name's not Alice, but I know how she felt when the world started turning into something else.
So that's what I did. I ate everything I hadn't allowed myself before. Everything with the highest amount of calories I could get my hands on. At first it was okay, and I convinced myself it was normal, but as time went on, my cravings grew worse and worse. And I had this voice in my head all the time saying, eat, eat, eat. And I didn't know what to do, so I went back to CAMS. And CAMS didn't believe that I was binging. My BMI was still way below the line for anorexia, and so I was stopped from going to school, and they just left me so much more time to just binge, and that's all I could think about. So I got very stuck, and I didn't believe I could do this anymore. I didn't want to do this anymore. So I overdosed, and I ended up in an eating disorder unit in London, 300 miles from home. I met some really nice people, but it was just way too triggering for me, and I had to get out. So first home leave, I got in the house, I ran to the bathroom and I locked myself in, and I refused to go back to the ward. And surprisingly, they let me stay. Then it was back home, I was told to take anxiety medication, which I was very reluctant to do because I was terrified that taking pills would make me suddenly gain like £1 billion.
Keep on turning, they don't slow down, just keep on.
I took the medication and I started rapidly gaining weight. I hated it, I didn't know what to do, so I resorted to overdosing. Obviously, I ended up in hospital a lot and my whole situation got pretty drastic. Yet, I was a healthy weight, I got to a healthy weight, and at this point people seemed to care a lot less. I hated it because I was struggling so much. I looked in the mirror and it wasn't me anymore. I didn't know what to do. Carried on going back and forth, into hospital, out, and a year later I started sixth form. Yeah, this didn't really last very long because I got very stressed and things started going badly and I stopped eating. People got very worried about me and I had to have a mental health assessment, which is where professionals decide whether to take the matter out of your hands and whether you're too ill to think clearly. Luckily, I got away with it by a knife edge and I was able to remain home. My observations still weren't great. My heart was having trouble. It was jumping from 40 beats from sitting to standing, which isn't amazing. However, things were looking up and I managed to turn things around before I had to go inpatient again. As I just turned 18 in 3 months, I was moved to adult services, where I had cognitive behavioural therapy and then later ACT, which I much preferred. Acceptance commitment therapy. It's amazing. And that's when I realised that I am the only one who can do this. I am the only one who can get rid of this, and I am the only one who can make my life worth living again. So I tried my best. I saw my friends more, I got a boyfriend, and I realised the only thing I really want is to be happy.
Oh, my name's not Alice, but I know how she felt when the world started turning into something else. No, my name's not Alice, but I know how she felt when the world started turning into something else. Well, it feels like I have just woke up in a world where down is up and up is a long way from here.